Hello, my name is Joellen Litz, and it's been a little while, but we did post something to inform you about farmland preservation, the basics on our preservation efforts. Well, today I'm back with some more good news, and basically let's start with agriculture is our #1 industry here in Lebanon County. It's an amazing thing to be able to say that. We have 31 to 36 farms on the preservation list. Those farms come to about 3,000 acres. It would cost about $7 million to preserve all of those farms, so it's hard to do it all at one time. However, the county puts in money, our Marcellus Shale funds, and some from the general fund. I'm going to say to the tune of combined about $150,000, $160,000 a year. We have some townships, municipalities that contribute. South Annville probably has the most farms preserved, and then probably South Lebanon. We did cover that before, but just a little bit of a reminder. When we get that money, we put it in a pot and we send it to the state and we say, hey, we'd like to see what your match is this year. And it's usually around $1.30. Oh, and by the way, when we get clean and green money back from real estate tax, if a farm is sold out of clean and green, which defers their taxes, what happens is we put that money into farm preservation too. Lebanon County is one of the fastest growing counties in the entire state of Pennsylvania. Right now we have about 1,000 homes under construction. They're coming in from all over. There's a situation called the MasonDixon Dilemma, and that is where at our southern border, people who live in Washington, D.C. or Baltimore find that their land is so expensive, their housing is so expensive. Down there, a house probably will be $1 million to build, something like that, maybe more. But if they're a young couple, they see opportunity across the border. And at first it was Lancaster and Adams County, Franklin County. They were absorbing this phenomenon, if you will, whereby people who work in Baltimore and Washington were buying up their land, but their land got so expensive, they simply came across the border to Lebanon County. So especially on our southern end, all those homes that are going in partially because of people wanting good schools, which we have here in Lebanon County, affordable land, and our cost of living is relatively low compared to Washington and Baltimore, and then they just travel to work. So another group from that same area are early retirees, 50, 55 years old. I think it's at 55. The IRS allows a one-time exemption, if that's still valid, to sell your house and not have to pay taxes on it, federal income tax that is. So those young retirees are selling their $1 million homes, coming here, buying a brand new home for maybe $300,000 and investing the rest of the money. So you can see a lot of development pressure here, plus all the warehouses going in. They have jobs they have to fill, and those people are looking for places to live too. Well, along with those 1,000 homes, we're also losing about 1,000 acres a year to development. Now that includes the commercial development, admittedly. But about November or so of last year, maybe it was October, there was a program presented to the Farmland Preservation Board, and I happened to be the commissioner liaison to that program. And the gentleman and lady who brought it down came from the state farm preservation program. Doug Wolfgang used to work for Lebanon County Conservation District and served as a state director for many years, and so I was quite familiar with and comfortable with Doug. So when he brought this program, I really paid attention. His deputy is a young lady whose name is Denise Coleman. Now, Doug accepted a position with the federal government, and Denise moved up to director. But the two of them together assured us that this new program they were presenting had a lot of benefits, and they were looking for Lebanon County to be part of it. I'm going to show you an overview, so when I talk about some more details, it will hopefully make some sense. There is this project called Project 1847 on the Kitty Ridge Conservation Landscape. Here's what it looks like. You see that red band down through? Well, guess what? Lebanon County is part of this band, and the red band is just above Route 422, and then you'll see a more yellow band out around it, and then a green band of counties as well. Well, we are in the prime spot that they want to preserve. So here we are, and there is a coalition of groups, the Audubon Society, I think it's Keystone Conservation, even the military. They're all looking at preserving this area. It's a flyway for birds, and dark skies at night allow training of the military with their planes and helicopters. So for many reasons, they came together and made a pool of money. When it started, the first round was in December. There was about $38 million available. That's a lot of money. Well, about 6 counties jumped on board right away. Lebanon County, a little more cautious, a little more conservative, asked a bunch of questions, and Doug and his lieutenant came back a couple of times and answered some more questions. And eventually we got to the position where we're ready to move ahead. That happened at our March meeting. Now, we only meet every other month, so the attorney, Paul Bametz-Ryder for Farmland Preservation, wrote up some language which will allow us to give farmers the option of accepting those federal dollars. There is a chart available to farmers that they can review, and not everything is exactly the same between state and federal farmland preservation. Similar, but not exactly the same. So, of course, they have to look at it and see if the program is right for them. If it is, we have a new application form that we check the box that they will accept federal funds, and they'll get a couple of extra points added to their score. Now, this scoring can be really close sometimes, and it could mean a difference between a farm getting preserved this year or 2 years from now. So it could mean a big difference if there are farms that will accept it, and it's not mandatory that they do, but it is an option for them. So we're moving along, and we're getting everything set up. Schuylkill, Blair, Cumberland, and Perry were some of the counties that moved ahead right away. One of the things we have to consider is that the Agricultural Preservation Board has to put up the full amount in advance, and then once the paperwork is filed, the deed is filed, we apply to the federal government, and usually within 30 days we get reimbursed the funding. 50% of that we get to keep and reinvest in another farm for preservation. So you can see how this can multiply and be a really good thing for Lebanon County. In several years, I think that it's possible, maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, we could completely wipe out that waiting list. Of course, others may jump on board, but there's a potential to wipe out the waiting list for farmland preservation in Lebanon County. If nothing else, it's going to go a lot quicker than it had been. Again, going back to that red band, that in Lebanon County, anything above Route 422 is in that red zone in Lebanon County. So farmers that had more shale, they still have to have the good soils and be on the preservation list. But so anybody above 422 gets those couple of extra points to get preserved. You add the current farmland along that is preserved to the recreation areas that we have here in Lebanon County. That could be the state parks, the state forest, it could be the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail, the Camp Rocky Creek, which was Camp Shand, or even Clarence Shock Memorial Park, many of us call Governor Dick. You can see that we are really conserving a lot of land in Lebanon County. All this land together will help us retain our quality of life. It will help us retain areas for groundwater recharge, green and open space. It's just so beneficial to our health and well-being. And so that was my news. I hope you're as excited about it as I am. I just think it's the best thing since sliced bread. And we are in that breadbasket of America, so bread's a good thing too. As the old saying goes, no farms, no food. Let's preserve those farms. Have a lovely day. Bye now.